You are now tuned into the 2-Minute Warning, a live stream community conversation pertaining to social and political issues and how we can collectively resolve them. Powered by the Westside Gazette.
Hello and welcome to the 2-Minute Warning. I'm your host, Perry Busby. The 2-Minute Warning is brought to you by the Westside Gazette newspaper, Broward County's oldest African-American family-owned newspaper. And joining me tonight is the brother who helped start this whole get-together with me, Mr. Bobby Henry at the Westside Gazette, the publisher at the Westside Gazette. Bobby, how you doing, my brother?
You know, Perry, it's like the old day now. You know, I'm here by myself. I'm terrific and getting better. You know, when you become accustomed to having a sidekick.
Right.
Yeah. I see our sidekick is missing for tonight. He had a very important engagement where he had to keep his eye on a business matter. And you know, when it comes to business and folk doing business with black folk, we have to pay close attention. So our dear brother Wright is keeping an eye on that business.
So brother David Wright is sorely missed tonight, but no, he's doing good things where he is. And so Bobby, man, what's going on?
Oh man, Perry. You know, just when you thought it was safe enough to go back into the water, something else happened. And we're going to deal with that in more detail. But, you know, our school board is still acting up. And I'll just ask you to put a pin in that and be ready to, and we'll elaborate more on that once we get more details. We do have details, but we want, you know, to make sure because this stuff is scathing, if you will, and the people that are behind it, you know, will make you say, I thought we were done with that. But nevertheless, that's that. And then, you know, last week we were talking about our special guest, and you know, we didn't want to mention that person, but we had an opportunity to do a little interview of that person, and I'm not sure if the video is ready just yet, but we'll talk a little more about it, and then we'll get a piece of that video.
Well, and just a quick segue in, you know, you and I have talked a lot about school boards and how I've seen those events morph into something now that, you know, where the value of our kids' education is the last thing that seems to be on the agenda. And you know, and again, like I say, I don't think that what Broward is going through is any different than what I've seen my hometown of Beaumont go through, and what we currently see happening in Harris County with the Houston Independent School District. And so these are not one-offs. They are just part of a long, strong pattern. And as I've always, you know, said and believed, as Broward goes, so goes Florida.
You know, and you're absolutely right, which is
Not sure what has happened with Bobby, but again, thanks for joining us. I know we kind of got started right on into the conversation, but I do want to say thank you for joining us once again on this Thursday evening for a conversation. Okay, I think Bobby's back.
And thank you, Perry, for backing us up to really thank our guests for joining us. So as I was saying, as appropriately commented in our show's title tonight, the tip of the iceberg. We don't really get a chance. We don't see what's beneath that tip, but boy, there's a lot of stuff happening. So if I could, Perry, I would like to have our technical people bring up the video.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Okay, we are experiencing some difficulties here. I guess the gremlins are running around. So, but but as we were talking last week concerning our special guest, and there's some things that he will mention that will be happening here in Florida. Uh, and it's going to take all of us to get involved with it. So I just do that. But what's going on your part, Perry? What's happening out your way?
Well, as always, I mean, we are here in Arizona. We are getting to see another side of what is happening with this Trump administration. There are several state officials and individuals within the Republican Party who have now, uh, I guess, been indicted in state court regarding their false election,
Mhm.
submitting false election records. So again, I mean, this story begins to just play out again in some different ways. So, but that's been one of the highlight stories of the day.
Yeah, you sent something to me a day ago, and it was in reference to. Okay, here we go. Nope. So
Yeah.
okay, you sent something to me in reference to we're not taking these people serious, and they are constantly doing. Yeah, yeah. Let's talk a little about that.
Yeah, and I think that we need to, well, I'm sure that we will develop some ongoing episodes around the issue of voting, but there's lately have been a rise in many states where individuals have questioned the validity of people's voter registration. And a lot of times, many of those notices, the voter doesn't even really respond to it. And so they are wiped from the rolls. And so this is just one of the latest things that Republicans are doing in the sense that they are now questioning the validity of people's voter registration, especially those who are homeless.
Mhm.
We know that this will disproportionately affect African Americans, Hispanics, Latino community, and those who are just transient right now. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm just saying, just because of economic constraints, a lot of people are transient, and so now you have one party who is focusing on really doing this kind of voter search to question people's right to question people's validity to vote. And since they are funded by Republicans, they're going primarily after those who they perceive to be Democratic leaning type voters,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
uh,
Mhm.
especially especially young voters as well.
Okay, okay. Yeah, man. That we better enlarge the 2 minute warning before the
Yeah,
2024 election. We need to really uh, bring the smoke, if you will.
right.
So
Yeah, and again, Bobby, it's just again one of those things that I say, and I know I sound crazy sometimes when I talk to you,
no, you kidding?
but 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 we got to do more than what we have been doing. And I'm not saying that get off the boat efforts are not enough. But when we have a group who is doing all of this micro targeting and we don't have anything to counter it, and we're not even being aware of it, these are the things that I'm saying that if we just kind of change and include some different kind of folks who can help us do some things smarter. Nobody's trying to take anybody's shine from any group. Nobody's trying to tell you how to do anything. We're just saying we've got to do some things smarter because on the other side, they not
They for
they
real. They are
they
for
are
real,
for real.
and
They
they're
are for
playing everything they can. That's a good segue into presenting, the special guest from last week. And if I could, we can get into that. I want to bring up a recorded session that we did last week with a special guest. And the special guest is the special guest is the president and CEO of the National Newspaper Publishers Association, Dr. Benjamin Chavis. Dr. Chavis was in town for meetings to discuss bringing an event here to Florida. Okay, as
we're
we
working on it. Is we
yeah
get
yeah
I know
yeah,
it's there. So
it's so important. It really is. Imperious
well,
right in
Barbara, go
line.
ahead and just give us a summary. I
Okay,
you've already said it's Dr. Shaver, so go ahead
yeah.
and give us a summary so that we won't miss out even if we don't get it.
Okay, very good,
You
very good.
got
Yeah, okay. All right, I wanted it to come from his lips because he said it, and as I said in the video, now that you put it out there, it's on the table. When other organizations or affiliations are running from the state of Florida because of, as some people feel, was a misappropriated statement in the action that was being taken, as opposed to uh, a boycott or a travel ban. It was a travel advisory that was put out by the NAACP. And so what happened was about 4 months ago when we had the executive council meeting here, my first executive meeting as the chairman of the NNPA, it was mentioned about what was happening in Florida and what should we do. Should we bring our midwinter workshop here, of which we try to find a warm place to have our midwinter workshop, because publishers come from all around the world and it's cold country. So anyway, make a long story short, during that time before this war happened and with the attention of the war over in Gaza, I said to the executive committee that the only way that I would sanction or be a part of any event coming to Florida, we had to come and make a statement. There was something that we had to do to address the governor and his tomfoolery and his miseducation of people and his attack on the LGBTQ and the history aspect of banning books. So I said, if we're coming here, we're going to approach and discuss that. And so we did. We have decided that the NNPA, the National Newspaper Publishers Association, existing of over 250 Black-owned newspapers from across the country, is coming to Fort Lauderdale. And we're coming to not only make a statement, but to reaffirm relationships, in particular, the relationship between Blacks and Jews. Now, I know some people's memories are short, but there are those who can remember that the Jewish people walked with us, they protest, they voted, they even died and our struggles. And so somewhere along the lines, some things had happened. And we want to reaffirm that relationship so we can begin to address these issues collectively, Perry. You said it, we cannot do it alone. We can't continue to do the same thing and expect results. When we do the same thing, we get the same thing. So
Right.
again, the NNPA is coming here, and we're coming to address those issues. We are having a town hall meeting on January the 24th at the African American Research Library and Culture Center. There will be a panel of people on stage, and those people consist of some Jewish leaders, some Black leaders, and some what I call intellectual Black folk, that we can have that discussion, and be abreast and understand what actually transpired. So
Right.
please mark your calendars, and that's January the 24th, 7 p.m. at the African American Research Library and Culture Center. And during that week, we'll be having our training and workshops. On that Friday, we will be celebrating the Publisher's Lifetime Achievement Award to one of our publishers, or it might be two of our publishers. And that will be at the B Ocean Hotel. It's a black tie event. So we're asking the community to come out and be a part of all the festival activities, as well as the social conscious pricking activities that we will be doing. Now,
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
Well, that is exciting. And I definitely, uh, will be. It will be in my prayers and hopes that uh, that what we intend to do in this event, that it will come to fruition. Because I think, and I know, as you and I spoke about this, I think that, as I said, that, I think that what sometimes gets lost, is, it is,
mhm.
and I won't just, I won't just say you,
Excuse me.
but I will just say, it is on our ability to always conflate one's grievance with another. And so I understand the relationship of older, of, as I say, our elders. You know, I I come, my mother, my grandmother was a domestic in Houston, and she was a domestic for a Jewish family
Mhm,
who they had great relationships with and who they adored. And so, when you and I began to talk about it, I said, it's just really just one of those things where generationally we've grown apart. But then also, I think what our kids are saying is really relevant in terms of how they view this geopolitical landscape that they are also seeing
mhm.
in
You
terms
know, and
in
I'm sorry.
terms
Go
of
ahead.
the hypocrisy of some of those who are in charge. And I think that it's I you know I how can I
Mhm.
say it's sort of saying you know to be critical of America isn't to say I don't love America, and to be critical of what's happening right now in Israel, in terms of how uh, I respect uh, the Jewish community, especially those who were at the forefront of civil rights, right along with Dr. King. I mean, it's so intertwined. Bobby, that
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
almost foolish to kind of just take a big sword
but
and
you
just chop
and
them.
cut. But you know, Perry, you know, if we're not reminded or careful or think about situations where that were purposely set up, COINTELPRO, you know, to infiltrate relationships and split them up, not allow Jews and Black folk to come together and solidify their power. Now, I want to say this, and I want our viewers to understand that this coming to Broward County was way before that war started. Well, the knowledge of that war was brought to the forefront. The need and necessity came out of trying to coalesce with people that we could address the issue of what this governor was doing. You know, the title of our conference is Empower the Black Press, the Black Vote, and Black America. And when we look at those three levels of influence, all along the way, the Jewish people have been involved in our struggle with that. Not only the Jewish people, there are some other people as well. And we want to extend the opportunity to have this dialogue. It's for the sake of America, not just for the Jews or for the Blacks. If we're not careful, if we're not mindful, we will find ourselves trumped over. Yeah, yeah, and all of that and everything that means.
Yeah, yeah,
But I have to stress that fact that no, I don't want. We don't want people to say, oh, well, they here, you know, no, man, wrong is wrong and right is right, and so we're just trying to have that dialogue. And I
yeah,
see we got some folks joining us. I see Rachel Johnson
yeah,
from the advocacy
yeah,
for the, I don't want to say homeless,
yeah,
but for uh, housing, if you will.
yeah. No,
So yeah.
I mean, and just to kind of put it in just natural order, Bobby, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like, I great friend and uh, of mine and pastor at the time, Dr. Michael P. Williams. He once preached a sermon called "Ishmael is my brother." And Isaac and Ishmael were brothers.
Mm-hmm.
What brought them together was Abraham's funeral.
Hmm.
And I mean, I mean, who among us haven't seen some mess at a family funeral?
We came out of chaos, you know, and it's ironic. It's not ironic. It's right on time that you said that, Perry. And
Yeah,
so okay, we we could get off, and we're going to do it, but we
yeah,
got a guest waiting in the back there.
right, right.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. But
So
therein lies the mess, and we got to work it out sometime
yeah.
at the funeral and sometime at the repast. But we got to work this mess
Yes,
out.
we do. Okay, okay. Okay. Now, as it pertains to our guest for tonight's show, uh, she's an activist for her community, in the true word of a servant, an activist, a concerned citizen, one who is willing to stand on the forefront and meet those causes and address those causes that make some people uncomfortable. As we were engaging in a conversation tonight, she said some names that kind of, brought my my eyebrows up. So without further ado, I want to bring Terri Dillard on. Terri has been a constant viewer of ours. She's been involved in the show from a distance, making comments and coming on. So we said to Terri that we would address some of the issues as much as we can of those that are plaguing her community. So, Miss Dillard, Sister Dillard, uh, thank you. And talk about that tip of the iceberg, what we need to be dealing with. So, thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here, and thank you for having me, um, Mr. Bobby. I want to congratulate you on your new election of being the chairman of the NNPA, and what an honor! And I'm thankful that I got to know you and part of my life, and You gave me a great opportunity writing for you. I think that was 2007. And that was a great honor, sir. And thank you, Mr. Perry Busby. It's finally I get to talk with you. So I've been waiting for this moment.
Thank you.
So yeah, we have a lot going on in the city of Hallandale Beach. And I want to raise some issues regarding our police department chief. I want to talk about that first, about what's been going on. I want to tell you that I'm on the Quadrant Safety Board. I've been on this Quadrant Safety Board. It's the CRA, Hallandale Beach CRA, Quadrant Safety Board, for 3 years now, since 2020. The chairwoman of this board, and I have the access to a lot of documents and data, analysts, reports, crime reports. There's a lot of new technology that came in 2020, spot shotters, the cameras. We just have a lot of new technology, and a lot of crimes going on in certain areas in our Northwest, particularly our West community, Southwest, Northwest, but mostly in our Northwest community. And we had a 16-year-old kid shot and killed, drive-by, shot and killed recently. And that just touched my soul so hard. And we must do something about it. And we had all this new technology and the shot spotters, where shootings are occurring. In 2020, we have documents where a lot of this shooting activity was going on, and nothing was done.
Okay, Terry, let me jump in here with you if I can. Okay, now these incidents, I remember you told us something about this. Might have been maybe a month or two ago, where you were talking about your concerns that you were reporting these incidents and nothing was happening.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and in your position of being a part of the CRA, I'm sure you have the quadrant. You have the ear of those that can make a difference. Are you saying that you have approached and addressed those individuals and nothing has happened?
Absolutely, absolutely. Nothing has happened, and it goes on deaf ears, and that's my topic tonight. It's there were red flags, and residents continuously called, talked, and reported a lot of the crimes going on in certain areas, and nothing was done. And we just feel that our Northwest is being ignored, and we need to do something about it. And it's getting out of hand.
Okay.
And the crime in the Northwest, we have, I'll say, over 12, maybe more than that, cases that are not solved for, I think, this year.
What? Okay, you mentioned that the sheriff. What's the makeup of that department, or that particular office or segment from that department? What's the makeup of that? The cultural makeup of that department?
Well, we have over 100 police officers. 97, I believe, are sworn in. Around 97 are sworn officers. And African Americans, we have a small percentage, but they just hired an African American police officer. But we're very short on diversity in our police department. I have no problems with our police department. I fight for their safety, their equipment, all the tools they need. I want to make sure that happens. But it comes from the top. And our police chief, Michael, is not addressing the Northwest. We're neglected for safety concerns in the Northwest. Our chief, Michael, all I see him do is take photos and political. He's very political and just photo ops. And I just feel that there were red flags in our community and nothing was done. And it's, you know, just stop the political theater and get to business in the community. And we need help. And yeah, so the police department, like I said, they're a great group. I work with them, and I can't say a lot of them. They feel my pain, and I feel their pain, and they understand. They really do. The direction, it starts from the top, and we're neglected regarding the safety of the residents, and they've been complaining. And you know, there was the shot spotters, for example, tons of shootings, and the mayor said, well, no one called. There's only 2%.
Excuse me, Terry.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. Because I can feel your passion, and I'm just going with you. Explain for our audience what the shot spotters are and their importance and how they're used.
Yes. Okay. When shots are fired in locations, in certain locations, they are detected. If there was a firecracker, they can determine if that was a firecracker or a car, a backfire, and they know, the police department know if it's shooting, a gunshot, and what that does, it analyzes where the shooting are coming from, and the police react to those shots within minutes, supposedly.
And how critical is that to their operation in terms of how they respond, or what are you seeing?
I'm seeing residents continuously complained, and so they give up. They don't call anymore. They call me or one of the other advocates in the community because no one's listening of the concerns that they were
So the
having.
police aren't responding to the shots.
No, because no one called. You know, those are the excuses. I'm gonna say it. You know, no one called. But why should they continue to call? And as far as I'm concerned, the data is there, and those are data's accurate data. Why should I call? I don't care 1 or 2% of people call. You have the data. Do something about it.
Okay, so let me understand a little bit. I'm familiar with the shot spotter, and I attended a understanding session with this City of Fort Lauderdale Police Department. So you have this mechanism, this team in place. When a shot is fired, immediately they know where the shot is fired. They know the difference between a backfire from a car and a firecracker. So immediately there's a response, whether somebody calls or not. There should be a response to that.
Absolutely.
So am I understanding what you're saying? We're not getting that.
No.
And okay. Now we will ask Sheriff Michael to come on too. You know, we're not. Yeah. No.
Yes,
because you brought this up some months ago. You mentioned yourself and some others. I guess with the team of citizens who have voiced their concerns, where and how are you voicing your concerns? Is it done at City Hall during commission meetings, or is it documented? What's happening with that?
Okay. Yes, at our Quadrant Safety Board, we're documenting. We're talking about it. Residents coming to our meetings, and they're on tape, and they're complaining. Also, they went down to talk with Chief Michael personally. Yes. And they come back to me. He's just not listening. He's not listening. We have shots last night. We have I had a senior citizen call me. He says, Terry, I'm not coming to any more of your meetings because I'm afraid. I'm afraid because of the crime that's in my neighborhood and the shootings. And if I continue to come to your meetings, they think that I'm telling on them, you know. And this is one of the reasons why people stop calling, because they're afraid nothing's being done, and these folks who are committing these crimes would take retaliation against them. So and you have to be careful, and it's not being taken seriously. When I had that senior citizen call me, tell me, I'm not coming to any more of your meetings because I'm afraid. And Terry, I don't leave my home, and that hurts me. That bothers me. You know, I'm born and raised in the Northwest community, and I have such a passion for Hallandale Beach. That just hurts me to hear that. And I expressed my concerns with my counterparts, and they knew my feelings about that, and we need to do something. And so that's just part, you know, regarding the crime that's going on. There's so many stories, Mr. Bobby, Henry. There's so many stories that I can tell you regarding residents. They're tired, you know. And I'm not beating up on our police department. And again, it starts from the top. And like I said, our chief, I feel that he can do better, and at his job. And now, after this young man, this teenager, 16-year-old, was killed drive-by in our community, I think it was the following week or a few days later, they all out in the streets and handing out flyers and taking photos of residents, and saying anonymous. So you're going to post photos of residents and saying anonymous. I don't understand that. This is why folks don't want to call you or come forth, because you have me on your post as if you're doing your job and taking photos of me talking with you. You know, his police department. That tells you right there. It's political, and it's not a concern of residents, and they care. You know, so those are some of the concerns. Like I said, it's just political theater, I call it. You know, enough. Stop playing politics, you know, and get to work, and for the safety of our residents. And
You know, I know here in Broward County we have those homeowners association and other groups. Are what are those groups working in unison with you and addressing the issue with the sheriff to have him? Okay. So he's been out to meetings.
He has, yes, he is. After the shooting of our 16-year-old, you see meetings now. You see lots of meetings, and out on the streets, and activity with the police security now. They started cleaning up one area of a high crime area, cleaning up, painting apartment buildings, and trying to fix up some bladed areas within months. Okay. But I feel that a lot of this stuff should have happened long ago. So they reacting to a tragedy, and you should have really done something about it long time ago. You had all of this technology showing you, and all this data showing you what's happening. Okay.
So Terry, it sounds like maybe Mr. Sheriff Michael, maybe he's trying, but are you saying it's too little, too late,
Yes,
or
sir.
so it's oh so
I think he needs to pay. Someone has to take the heat for this 16-year-old being killed in our city, in our
okay.
community.
Mhm.
Okay, he has to take the heat for this, and
Mhm.
to gain the respect and the trust of our residents in the Northwest. I feel that he needs to step down. We need to replace him, and that we need to look for someone better than him, because we
Mhm.
are good people. Our residents in the Northwest, they are the strongest people.
Mhm.
They talk, they work, they go to church, and they work hard. We work hard, and they are smart, and I love our people. I
Mhm.
really do.
Mhm.
Okay, and I have and I'm here for them. I'm on these. I've been on the planning and zoning board for since 20. Oh my gosh, since 2007. I've been on the
Whoa,
planning and yeah,
since whoa.
2007. I've been on the
Mhm.
planning and zoning board, and I'm the chairwoman of the CRA Quadrant Safety Board,
Mhm.
and I work hard for our residents. Um, and I'm not running for any office or anything
Mhm.
like that. It's because of it's my hometown, and like I said, I love my people.
Mhm. And you know
And
something, Terry?
yes, sir.
We have a viewer on here from Clewiston, Florida. The first black commissioner from Clewiston is viewing us right now. Miss Janet B. Taylor, and I'm sure Miss Taylor can offer some advice or some help in orchestrating or helping you and the others to not only address this issue with Sheriff Michael, but to get some action.
Yes.
So, and she's viewing right now. I don't. Could you put your information in the chat box, and I know Miss Taylor will give you a call.
Absolutely, I
Hmm.
will.
Okay. All right. And I see that um, Rachel, housing advocate and organizer. Um, so if you're having an issue with housing in your area, Terry, again, Rachel is a person to reach out to. Um, I see Mr. Boyd, Brother Wesley. Um, Technology exists to ping cell phones in the area of the cell towers and real-time satellite. He was talking going back to Spot
Mhm.
uh, shot caller. That, yeah. Hmm. Um,
Amanda.
mhm. So, okay, you put your information in there.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. I'm sorry, sir. So let me get my
Oh, okay, Perry said he got
chat
it.
box.
Okay.
My
Also,
technology.
okay, that's right. You'll get it. Also,
I need to type in my
we can open the conversation up. Remember now, we believe in engaging our viewers.
right there.
We want help, and we want help from those who are willing to help, and and we understand we can't do it alone. Uh,
Yeah.
Terry has reached out to uh, others because of her concern, not only for that 16-year-old boy who was shot in a drive-by, but also the elderlies in that neighborhood. Um, this conversation didn't just come up. Uh,
Yeah.
she reached out before trying to get help. So if you're out there and you can um, offer some suggestions and for Terry and what she can do, what her community can do, please do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry, I know and thank you so much for this information. Um as you were saying it, my mind was gonna warp speed around here. Um I know there's a group that you probably haven't heard of, but I was so excited to hear you talk about the information that you're getting as part of your participation
Mhm.
on that board. Uh, uh, I don't think that sometimes when we get these appointments and we get access to this information that we really understand how useful it is, to us holistically. And again, I thank you because you saw something and you saw how huge the issue was. Um, there's a national group called Data for Black Lives, and it was started by a woman by the name of Tanisha Petaway out of Detroit. And as Wesley was talking about this new technology, I think we need to understand that a lot of this surveillance and a lot of this technology that law enforcement uses is heavily centered within our community, because understand that surveillance also means containment. They surveillance, I mean, they're keeping us within these
Mhm.
parameters, these invisible uh uh you know these invisible lines. And so what Data for Black Lives has done is said that all of this stuff provides public information, as you're saying with this spot spot shooter. And what they're doing is helping groups understand how to make this data useful to tell our stories in a better way, because they're using it again to say, hey, this is a heavily crime ridden area,
Mhm.
when in other words, we're saying, no, this is how you are ill. This is how you are showing a lack of protection in these areas. And so when we have access to these kinds of things, again, it makes use. We talk about the black press and how we can do that. I think it would be something useful for
Mhm.
us as the West Side Gazette to say how many shots by zip codes happened in the
Mhm.
previous week or the previous month, because our people don't know this information and they're
Mhm.
living in fear.
Mhm. And Perry, there's a brother that made the presentation here from Fort Lauderdale who is a part of that technology. Yeah, but I want to bring up Mervin's Wright's comment. Mervin is from that area, and Terry, I'm pretty sure you know Mervin.
Yes,
Mervin is
he's on
Mervin
our
is
board.
yeah, he's an activist. And Mervin said within the last few years there have been 9 murders in the northwest section of Hollandale, and there hasn't been no arrest of anyone. Now, the Northwest, that's not like LA. I mean, it's not some huge, so it should be, I won't say quite simple, but it's a sizable area that could be uh, uh, policed in a manner to find those who are perpetrating the crimes. I'll say that. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Perfectly said.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah. And like I said, in some ways, as we all know, unfortunately, when we report this, it comes across as numbers.
mhm,
And we got to let people understand these are lives. And the more we paint the picture of this as lives, I think the more it begins to sink in. Because these numbers, I mean, we just we live in a world where everybody's inundated with numbers.
mhm. So
And
make
so
those numbers relate
we've
to
got
the
to make
people.
this,
Yeah.
we got to make this real.
Okay. Okay. Let's do, we gonna segue off a little bit, Terry. Then we gonna come back and let you have a closing remark.
Thank
Um,
you.
okay. If we want to bring up that video, Okay. Seems like every time I mention it, uh, mhm. Okay, well, we're gonna move right along. If y'all could see, if you could see our technical person, you would. I'm about ready to duck. I'm gonna duck because I don't want to, But we
It
will.
happens like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
it happens, and so to our viewers, the video will be posted on our website. We're gonna draw some attention to our website, and we do have a YouTube page. But we are going to post it, and we'll have it up there. Bear with us. Technology is something else. Okay, Terry, if you will, we're at the top of the hour. Um, is there any information that you want to put out there in the chat? Anything that you want our viewers to see and to understand? Now, it's your turn.
Thank you. It's just that our residents, we need to come out more, and please come to the Quadrant Safety Board meetings, and they're held every first Tuesday of the month at 6:30 p.m. at O.B. Johnson Park. And we need you. We need a volume. We can make a difference. Um, we can't do this alone. And I know that our residents of Hallandale Beach in the Northwest, well, like I said, they're great people.
Mhm.
And you have someone. You have a great group who are willing to work hard for you, volunteer, and we're here. And
Mhm.
we need to get together. We need to work together, and just focus on the concerns that we have in the community. I just feel I'm a little bit shaken right now because I don't I feel that we're getting bamboozled.
Mhm.
Um, okay, and we need to do better and work together. And I just want to make sure that they know, if you want to go quickly, you go alone. But if you want to go and want to go further, we go together. So we're not going quickly. It takes time. So we're here. We have a great group. I started this group, I wanted to say, about Community Residents West Quadrant. And we started that in 2022. And it was a great group of people. We are residents, we're hardworking people, we're on boards, we're on volunteer committees, and because we're concerned, a lot of them are pioneers, and that's where I get all my strength from. There's some good pioneers in our community, and I feed off of them. I don't know what I'd do without them, and we have to really work together. Okay.
Wow, you guys got a group of volunteers. How many
Yeah.
cities can say that? Mhm.
Like I tell you, our Northwest community, our residents, they're tired, of just nothing happening. You have folks come in and they want to change and they want to do this or do that, and then they're gone. After the election's over. I'm sorry, I wanted to say that after election time is over, they're gone. But and they get disappointed. They've been disappointed and let down so much. So we really need to. You have people, like in our groups, get involved with us and just stick together. Okay.
Mhm. Okay, Mr. Buzz.
Uh, Again, Terry, thank you so much, and I hope you'll stay on after just after we end, because I do want to continue this conversation. Like I say, I think that there really are some things that we can do to help move us in the right direction, and hopefully we can get there. And to Mervin and Wesley and all of those who are on the front lines, just thank you. Uh, for your efforts in helping to keep this information at the forefront, because a lot of times, people tend to suffer in silence,
Yes.
and it's because of your work that people tend to find a way to come out of those shadows And so for however many one you find, I know you know that there are many more that are left unsaid. So thank you, for bringing, some light to this and for your efforts so much.
Thank you, Mr.
Mhm.
Busby. I also want to just make sure that you know that we want to stick with our Black press. We not going to no Channel 10 or Channel 7 anymore. We're sticking with our West Side Gazette newspaper and whatever West Side Gazette has to offer. And we'll take all your advice. We'll follow your lead. And that's why I reached out to Mr. Bobby Henry because we need help. I don't know, we don't know where to go. We really don't. So
Wow.
we're ready. We just want help.
Wow. And that has been the foundation of the Black press, advocacy, as well as reporting the stories. That's what we have done that for over 190. In 2024, the Black press would have been alive for 197 years. Now, I don't know of another Black business organization um, that has been around that long, other than the Black church, of which the Black press came out of the Black church. So, Ms. Dillard, again, whatever we can do to assist in getting some action to Hallandale and in the northwest part of Hallandale, and Sheriff Michael, to see if we can get him on and be fair about it and let him, you
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
face
I
the
agree with
truth.
that. I really
So,
do.
mhm.
Mhm.
And we will post again the video of with Dr. Chavis
Facebook,
next week. We will have it
Facebook,
on Facebook,
YouTube.
YouTube, and our website. So yeah, I know, and I'm really, really appreciative to those who tune in every week, and to give us feedback and to keep us going. This is the holiday seasons. Be mindful, and mental illness is real. So
Yes.
let's not take it for granted. Um, let's remember that we are all God's children.
Yes.
We're no better than any of us.
Yes.
Collectively, we can do a lot of stuff. So let's get together, show some love, and watch out.
That's right. I can't believe we're over with. Oh, we're having a good time here.
Yeah, we're here.
Right.
So thank you so very much. Good night. Please like us, share it, and next week come back. We're gonna do this all over again. Like I said, there's some very interesting things that are occurring. We're just trying to make sure when we bring it, it's the truth. So
Yes.
thank you. Good night, and God bless.
Thank you.
Mhm.